Hi, I'm Jann Gray, and I hope you're having a terrific week. I am going to share with you my February bullet journal setup. Bullet journals are great for so many things. This particular one I'm using as I am reading through the New Testament throughout the year of 2018. And several of you have joined in with me, and I have shown you how I created this little illustration to go for my cover plate. And if you missed that, I will put a link up here in the info cards, but I wanted to just show you where I am so far. Last month, this was what my January spread looked like. It was kind of a teal and purple look to it, and I really enjoyed the layout that I ended up using, so I'm going to use a very similar one this month, but I want to incorporate this little illustration that I did. So I want to just kind of walk you through that process and then let you watch as I work my way through it. To begin with, I'm going to kind of mark where I want this illustration to go, because I'm going to do some work on the pages before I add that into it. Over on the left hand side, I'm going to add my reading plan. Now, to kind of keep in a little bit of a theme going, I'm going to take that little container image and use it in a couple of places just to keep kind of a consistent look, if you will. And I'm using my Micron Graphic 1 pen. I went ahead and just kind of wrote out the reading plan, just working on getting it centered and giving a nice little title. I wanted to start my title page over on the right hand side of the page, and so that left this page blank, so it was a great place for me to put my reading plan. Now I'm going to use that little container and just do a little bit of stamping. Not even going to do as much work on the illustration as I did in the video showing how I created the little nameplate illustration, but I like that it brings some consistency into this month's plan. Bullet journals are great. You can have a little bit of creativity or a lot, and it gives you some visual interest, and it makes it kind of fun too. So anything that helps us stick with our organization, I think, is a great plan. I'm using the Tombow Markers. I found that these work really well on the bullet journal that I'm using, which is the Leuchtturm. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I don't get any bleed through with it, and I'm going to use a couple of other colors to add accents to my other pages as I'm getting to the point of setting up. Wanted to put just a little bit of grounding for that. I don't like flower pots and things that should be sitting on something floating. Now I want to show you the Suma Grip retractable eraser. Those of you that have taken any of my classes, you know that I am an advocate of a white eraser, but this is a eraser that I found at CHA or Creativation this year, and I am absolutely obsessed with it. It is a black eraser, but it actually is a patented design by Sakura, and I'll put a link in the description down below, but you are going to want to get your hands on one of these. I use it in my Bible journaling, I use it in my bullet journaling, I use it sitting out on every project that I do in my craft room, because the design of it is that it actually, the way they have designed it, it actually absorbs the graphite, so you're not left with a mess that can smear. And for those of us that use gesso or do tracing with graphite paper, you know that can get a little messy in some places, particularly in our Bibles or on our bullet journals. So having something that actually kind of surrounds that graphite is amazing. You can tell I'm a little obsessed. I'm still talking about it while I am writing out my reading plan here. But you know, when you find something really great, you want to tell the world about it. So consider yourself told. The Suma Grip retractable eraser is pretty amazing. I'm going to add in my gray stays. I'm just using two contrasting colors. The two Tombow colors that I am not Tombow, the Marvy, the plume colors I'm using are Prussian Blue and Tropical. Those are going to be my themes for this month. And I realized that I needed to move it up a little bit higher. Therefore, I had another use for my little Suma grip eraser. I'm going to use my mechanical pencil and write out February for my title page. For me, my lettering is not good enough that I can just go in directly with the marker. It's always better if I start with pencil and then can come back and work a little more slowly. I really like this Prussian blue. It has it's a little bit deeper than navy, but it has a little bit of green in it when you get up to it, so it looks really nice with this tropical green as well. I'm going to use a drop shadow, which is with a cool gray marker. It's my favorite drop shadow. Just works nicely next to lettering and gives it that sense of just a little bit of drop shadow. Using some double-sided tape, and I've added a black mat around it to give it a little bit of a place to land. Now I'm going to use the same format that I used last month on the 2 opening pages of week 4. Now I'm going to do week 5, and I'm just counting down to make sure that I'm keeping my heading similar, and going to write the reading list again here on this page, and my title. These 2 pages are just kind of standard. They are where I keep track of what this week is supposed to be about, any notes that I end up having that are kind of pertain to the entire week. And then and I'm now using a Le Pen in Prussian blue as well, so you get those nice little oriental blue. They are made by the same company, Marvy, so I kind of like working with those together when I can, because you've got really nice consistency of ink color between them. I'm counting down to use the dot grid to just make sure that I'm putting my notes in the same places I did last time, just striving for a little consistency. And then I'm using the tropical pen to add the drop shadow. I'm going to work on this next page, and over here I put a space for prayers, and this is where if somebody in our group mentions something that they would like for me to pray for, I put those notes here so that it's easily accessible for me. And I have a space for Todd's thoughts. At the end of each week, my sister is sharing what my brother-in-law journaled about in his journal. She has been going back and doing that for the past 3 years of his journal. So that has been really fun to have that little added bit of insight, and just since he was the one that inspired us to start this journey of reading through the Bible in the year, it's fun to keep track of what he has said. Adding just a little touch here. I'm not going to add this container to the other pages, but I felt like having it here on this page would bring a little bit of that into the next section of my bullet journal. Just a little bit of shading there. Not spending a lot of time on it, but it's fun. I enjoy having those little touches in there. It's good. And now I'm going to go back and show you from the beginning. Here's the reading plan. I did add into my index where week 5 started, where where February started, and then I've set up my Monday, Tuesday through Friday reading days, just like I did before, with notes, key verses, and actions. So there you have it. That is my February study guide for our reading plan. And I ended up making a little card because I love making those little illustrations. They're so great, easy to do, and fun. And I found they're kind of like Lay's potato chips. You can't make just one. So thank you for joining me. If you are not already part of the New Testament journaling group, I would love for you to join us. I'd be happy to have you be part of our reading group. We are journaling through the New Testament. So if you would ask to join over on Facebook, the Illuminated Journaling New Testament Journey group, we will get you in there and get you caught up, because it's not too late to join us. We're having a great time. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you will come back. Be sure and subscribe and hit like if this was a helpful video for you. I'll see you soon. Bye.